There's volunteers there.
So Linda, tell us where we are.
So what did I get from tonight? What did I get from tonight? Yeah, it was very different. I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed that body scan, Rob. Very much with the breathing and just the way you sort of kept me present, but allowing me to go deeper and brought me back. It was sort of slightly different from your body scans that you normally do. So thoroughly enjoyed that, and looking forward to next week.
Great, wonderful. How was it for you? Kind of thinking about when you did the course, in terms of some of the barriers that you might have encountered. How did you work with them? So I think people might find that useful, to hear.
Yep. Even the second time round almost, because I'm here now as a volunteer, it was useful to go through and remind yourself of what those barriers were. I think one of my barriers is I can be a bit of a procrastinator. So I can know a job needs to get done and I can then put it off and put it off and put it off. But what I found has been really useful for me is to say, you're just going to do 5 minutes. Just make a start. You don't have to go to the end if you don't want to. But if you just do it, even if it is for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then what inevitably happens is I end up going half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is I'm doing, because I start getting into it. It's almost like my mind is fighting against me. But if I just put that effort in to do 5 minutes, that evolves into 45. So that would be my tip. Just get on with it. Just do it. So that would be the tip from me with regards to barriers.
And would you say, because sometimes, we can have like this expectation, if I do it, I should feel better. But what if you don't feel better directly after the practice? Because that happens as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of feeling of well-being doesn't happen immediately. Did it happen for you?
Yes. And I've got a thing about wanting to do it right. So being competent at being mindful.
Yes.
And when I first started, I would say even up until week 4, I really beat myself up if it wasn't coming naturally. You're not doing this right. How can you not do this right? You've just got to lie there and, So as soon as I started to get into the mind frame of you're not in competition with yourself or anybody else, and just to be aware of what's going on, and it's not good and it's not bad and it's not ugly, it's just is, that really helped. That acceptance almost of this is just how it is, and work with it. That really worked for me.
So it's almost like being a bit compassionate towards yourself as well.
Big time.
Yeah.
And the compassionate section was really good for me when what's that, week 6? Yeah. So that really worked. That really helped.
So first thing, just do it. Don't procrastinate.
Yep.
Sometimes you can wean yourself into it, so you can tell yourself just do a minute or two, then you want to do the whole thing anyways. And the other thing is, don't try to get it perfect, and just be kind to yourself as you're doing it.
Yeah, just go with it.
Whatever's coming up, just be with it, because it can intensify, can't it?
Yeah.
The
more
if
you
get
resist,
the pain, what you resist persists. Yeah.
definitely. Shall I move down the line?
Yes, thank you. Not quite sure what to add to that now, really. I think for me, when I did the course, and even sometimes now as well, I find the barrier is the not enough time. So because I'm quite a planner, I tend to ring-fence time in my diary, and I find that really useful. So it's something that I put in my to-do list with other things, and I try and include nice things in my to-do list, so they're not all chores, so that there are pleasant things to do in my to-do list. And I count doing my mindfulness practice as one of the pleasant things to do, but I make sure that it's in there every day, and that I do it. And I think by having that intention to do it, and actually writing it down and marking it in the calendar, or it's actually in my to-do list, that works for me as a planner.
You tick it off after each
Yes, I do.
You
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would you respond to this, what people are saying about, it's just another thing I have to do now. It's not a pain because, I have to do this. I've been told, I'm doing the course and I have to do it. So what would you say to people who are kind of stuck on that kind of...
I think they'd be kind to yourself and baby steps. I like that slide that you had about the baby steps today, and just stick with it. It's not going to be easy every time, but I would say just stick with it, really.
And it is about switching the mindset. I think someone said in the group today about turning it in from a chore to something that's that's good for them. And it's switching that, almost having that paradigm shift in your mind to say, actually, this isn't a chore. This is about me and taking time for me, and changing that perspective, the perception that you have.
Absolutely. So for you, it's more about putting in a diary.
Yeah.
And would you say that you kind of feel like after each time you do it that it's like, oh, I've done this, you kind of feel good about it? Or how does it feel sometimes?
I suppose I do enjoy ticking things off my to-do list, I have to say. Yes, I do.
Okay.
But usually it's more it's like the going to the gym as well, that you do feel better afterwards, or you usually feel better afterwards, maybe not immediately afterwards, but you do notice the benefits. So I think that's important to remember that you do notice the benefits afterwards.
And I think sometimes we have to consciously turn our attention towards the benefits, because it doesn't always come easy to actually acknowledging the shifts. So I think if we can begin to consciously even if we just done the practice, that's a wonderful thing to acknowledge. So, I've done the practice. It won't always be easy, but also taking time to notice little changes in our day-to-day life. Because sometimes, the mind might be calmer, and we can say, oh, look, my mind is a bit calmer. Sometimes, we have little insights, little light bulb moments, like this one lady was saying. So we can begin to notice these things as well. And they all it's almost like we're investing in our, like a bank, we're putting...
And write those down as well.
And write these down.
Just gonna say, I keep a journal, and any insights that I have, I put down in my journal. And I find that really useful to look back on, a few days later, to go back and look at maybe some insight that I've had and see how that's maybe impacted on me.
Especially when you're having that struggle in the hard time, if you put the dates and that little insight, when you look back, it just gives you that encouragement again. And when I'm feeling irritated and I think, okay, I have to do this, I sort of take a deep breath and I say, how can I respond to this in a more loving way? And it just makes me, that's what shifts me. So that's a question I often use. And I quite like that gratitude, just giving thanks, because it also just shifts you, puts you in a different space. So those work for me as well. Anybody else want to say anything? Or
I think for me, just to maybe recap, is just to say, is to just to hang in there. And, this is not about getting it right or getting it perfect. Notice the little shifts as they happen. Like Lisa said, you when you procrastinate, then, you don't give yourself the opportunity to actually benefit from it. So also putting it in a diary and actually, doing it. And also see if you can, enjoy it as well, because it is about investing in our sense of well-being. And it's a process. It takes time, doesn't it? For the first, many weeks, you don't really know what you're doing. We tell you, I'll do this. But you don't really know whether you're doing it right. And that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely normal. Things will get easier, that's for sure. And you will begin to see more and more benefits within yourself, I think.
So maybe we should just change the script right now and say, this is enjoyable. Even when it's hard, it's enjoyable. This is, it's
time for you.
Okay, this is enjoy your breath, enjoy your sitting practice, enjoy your movement.
It's an
Whatever's
investment.
coming up, It's enjoyable.
There we are.
It is enjoyable.
There we are. Can't argue with that now, you know. So wonderful, guys. So shall we end it here?
I think so. Yes.
So thank you very much. We will post this on and send it over to you guys. It was very nice to see you all again, and we shall see you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.